Welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, where all we spit here is facts, no bullshit. I'm Jay Fox, along with my co-host Burrito Mike, whatever you want to call yourself. Make sure you sub to his OnlyFans. Also,
And actual YouTube channel
oh yeah, what is that? Swizzy
that I haven't
Games.
posted to in a while. Swizzy
Okay.
Games, obviously.
Also, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, or any other, they're all in the description, so go check them out if you want a more convenient way to listen. Today we're gonna talk about why 2K fell off so badly and what it can do to potentially revive itself because the game is just not in a good state right now. No one's playing it. Views are falling off. It is looking like a shit show for 2K. So, first thing I want to talk about you, Mike, is just what made the game good in the past. And the thing that comes to the top of my mind off the rip is just that games like the older 2Ks and like 16, 15, 7, a little bit of 17, and those were the games that everyone liked. They all had a skill gap, and I think that is something the 2Ks now are just lacking. And I feel like that's a reason why people aren't really interested in the games. What do you have to say about that?
Not only do I think it's like a skill gap, but the game overall is more fun too.
Mm.
I mean, that's the thing too. Even if you weren't that good at the game, you could still have fun. But like, not only was there, it had the ability to have fun, which a lot of the recent 2Ks doesn't have, if unless you're running some sort of meta.
Yeah.
But the skill gap actually, the word skill gap has kind of been diluted.
Yeah, I could totally agree with that.
And so basically, the skill gap then was dribbling and learning
For
different
sure.
dribble moves. And the more
Yup.
time you put in to learning the different dribble moves, the
better
better
you
you
were.
were. Yeah, the better you were, and the
Exactly.
larger the skill gap got from you from other players. I feel like now it's a matter of picking the right builds and just playing along with what works well in the game in order to win. Because that's another thing. Even though that lineup that we ran with the post playmaker facilitating
Finisher, yup.
it wasn't what people would call the meta. People would call the meta like screens and
Yeah,
you know,
screens
especially
are probably the main meta.
yeah, but that was still one of the metas, and it wasn't one of the because it would take. Even though people would, it's kind of like the two-way slashing playmaker. It's not like when people would say that it took no skill to be a two-way slashing playmaker, but usually you would have to learn how to shoot without your jump shot meter and time a 68 overall jump shot. But it would still, basically, once you got that down, it was a pretty overpowered build. But we really only started having fun once we did that. Too.
Yeah, no, for sure. The thing is that I don't like about these 2Ks, I mean, even though we did have a lot of fun running that lineup, like, we shouldn't have to pick specific lineups to run. We should just be able to go on whatever builds we want and be in an equal playing field to compared to everyone else. Like, we had to make 2 lockdowns, Mike, in 2K20 in order to defend screens, and we did a damn near good job at it. But it's just
we did
that,
almost win, Gold Rush.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The servers are a whole nother thing we're gonna end up talking about. But servers, so we got booted. Not our entire router, but I know we specifically got booted 3 times, and then the entire park got shut down 4 times. Which is kind of crazy considering that probably wouldn't happen as much in the older games, 16, 17 or whatever. Definitely.
Yeah, the community was just less toxic in general. I mean,
yeah, and we almost won that. I remember we were close enough to winning it. We ended up, going back down to like 250. And what was it to even get what would be considered winning? What was it, like 50?
Yeah, like top 50, something like that.
We were pretty
I don't know.
close. We were in like the top 10 for like the first couple of minutes because we got an easy 5K game. We ended up winning a lot of 5K games, but then I think we won
Yeah, we
what
just
4 or
slowly
5
went down.
5K games, and then there was like mascots on every other park that we went to. By the time we got lagged out of that, all like the legends ended up taking over the twos court.
Yeah, we were probably in the top 100 for like at least 3 hours of
Yeah.
Gold Rush, for like 3/4 of it, and then it just got OD with the personal lag outs, just DDoSing, and it just sucked. And that's another thing that reduces the skill gap is just the community lag switching. It's got to stop. 2K's got to figure out a way to prevent that to happening.
I can't really even think of another
yeah.
game. I mean, obviously, in any game, you can figure out someone's IP and boot them offline specifically. But
It's
I
just
know
so easy
very.
in 2K.
I not only that, but I find it. I failed to find any other game where people can just run a program, flip a switch, like people do in 2K, and shut down an entire server.
Mm.
When you look
For
at it,
sure.
when people try to like crash servers in like Minecraft or something, it's not as easy as just like flipping a switch, running a code. They like have to set up. I don't know if you've seen these before. I watched like 5 videos on like a road trip once for a wrestling
Yeah.
tournament. And what these people do is they basically dig out underground the entire map, and they set up a redstone repeater system, and they crash the entire server.
They're lag machines. I know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that you have to go through all that to do the same thing that I could just
Yeah, I see your point.
press a but I can make a macro on my keyboard and do the same thing for an entire 2K server. And we knew exactly who it was because we would always be waiting for a game, and we would see someone lose the 10K court. That was the highest court, right? The 10K court.
Yeah. During Gold Rush, yeah.
The 10K court during Gold Rush. Every time we would see someone lose, instantly, park got lagged out.
It was annoying for sure. Yeah, the skill gap, it would diminish the skill gap. There is no skill gap in these latest 2Ks. And also another thing, in my opinion, that made 2K great in the past was these simple park ideas compared to like what we have in the city now, and how it's like almost impossible to find games. Like back in the day, it was just you go into a park and you play basketball. You didn't really have to wait too long for games.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, before. And before yesterday, I didn't even know that the park, they had 4 separate areas, like differing from the like different like parks, the different cities or whatever. It was just 4 areas, and that was and they were all in the same thing, which definitely isn't good. I wonder if they actually did that to keep the servers from being that bad, but I heard that the servers are still trash.
Oh no, it's literally
I was
garbage.
wondering if because they tried taking, instead of having, they're trying to run multiple parks, which are probably going to be running the same computing power because it's still the same amount of players playing the same amount of games. And so I don't know why they would do that. Maybe if it's like a slight difference in like the availability of computing power, like they would have less parks, but they could play more games in one park than normal.
I have no clue.
I don't really know what they were trying to do there. So yeah, like I didn't even know that was a thing. And the thing that I find surprising about that is I didn't know that because I couldn't even like fathom the possibility that they would do something so stupid like that.
Yeah,
that was one of the big problems
ridiculous.
Yeah, that was one of the big problems with 2K18. Like the park was ginormous, and that's why they made that condensed park. As much as everyone hates it now because it was the same park 2 years in a row, that was a pretty good park design.
Could agree with that.
And I also think they did a pretty good job in 2K21, where they made it different. It was a little bit bigger, but it wasn't ginormous, where it was like, oh, now I have to go all the way over there to do this, and go all the way back to the park to play a game. It was more like, it was probably the same amount of distance. It's just that they made it spread out, and they had whatever different streets. So
Yeah, no. The only problem I really had with the 2K21 park was probably that the twos courts was all the way in like East Bumblefuck.
yeah,
Like
that sucked.
that was kind of annoying. But besides that, yeah, I could agree with what you said. Like, um, everything was kind of where you needed it to be. They put the stores in a completely separate location so that, if you want to play basketball, you play basketball. If you want to pimp out and spend your mom's credit card on virtual currency and get clothing, like you could go ahead and do that somewhere else. So yeah, I definitely agree that what you said, definitely.
And then another thing with the twos court, I feel like the twos courts is something that's really it's really overlooked every time they make a park. And I don't know why, because it's like, especially after Pro-Am came out, I feel like Park 3s is one of the most like overrated things that they put too much time into.
Yeah.
I don't legitimately remember us like me, you, and Nick, or like me, you, and Cooper, or anyone going and playing Park 3s.
Yeah, and it sucks too, yeah.
We would rather spend the time making an entire new Pro-Am team than playing Park 3s. Also, for some reason, I don't know if it's because it's almost like we are an entirely different park for ourselves. That's how they set it up. But playing in Pro-Am, like, never lagged in Pro-Am. But then when you got to Park, it was dog shit.
Yeah, that was annoying. And that's another thing, like, we have to deal, another thing about the 2Ks in the past is that they were just, like, playable games. And, like, nowadays, like you said, we have to worry about either playing 3v3 Pro-Am in the park. Wait, what? 3v3 Pro-Am or playing in the park and then having to deal with, like, why can't it just be like, okay, I play park, I'm not going to have lag, or if I play Pro-Am, I'm not going to have lag. Like, why does it have to be, like segregated in that fashion? It's really annoying.
Yeah,
So,
and, like...
Yeah.
And this thing with twos is I feel like so many people, like, also when you see it, whenever you see, like, the win streak stuff, no one's ever going on a big streak on the threes court in the park.
Yeah.
You always see the big win streaks on the twos, obviously, because it's probably a little bit easier to cheese with just the two-person lineup if you're just doing.
Oh yeah, twos courts will never take skill again. It's literally ridiculous. They'll never take skill again.
That's the one thing that's pretty good about the... I would say that they did probably one of their best jobs with the 19 and 20 parks. It's just that it's going to be looked down upon because how it is used twice.
Yeah.
This is whatever. Nice little compact park. It didn't take that long to run to the practice facility. Didn't take long to run back to the... Yeah. I don't know why they can't just, like, take away... They have, like... what do they have in 21? They had 6... Did they have 6 or 8 threes courts?
6 threes courts, 2 courts.
They can't take away a pair of... I mean, obviously they wouldn't have even, but they can't, like, put another twos court, 1 or 2 twos court. Because I feel like those ones are played so much more, and especially because I don't feel like that many people even play threes because there's Pro-Am. And then there's not really an option to do that with 2 people.
Yeah. One thing I also just realized is that Pro-Am was so much better because it's literally custom matchmaking. You don't have to wait for a game.
Yeah.
Like, you literally, you just hop on it and you're playing. Like,
yeah. Obviously, the park works in certain situations, but I feel like sometimes, like, it just doesn't work. Especially in regards to twos, when you can't get games and you're just sitting there, or you're going between park and park, you're always going into the stage, which I don't even know how that works in 21, because we never really... There's always games, first of all, and usually we played in threes, and there's always 3 games to play.
Yeah.
So, what was that thing? Because I know, especially because the park was so compact, all you really had to do was go in and out of the stage in 19 and 20. So, what was that? So, what did people do for 21 to do that?
I'm not really sure. I didn't really play the game enough. I mean, there was the you just went to the far left and it was this transit thing, kind of
basically like the the 2K Transit's underground thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they would do. It's about the same distance from whatever.
The stores and stuff.
Yeah, about the same distance from the stores and the same distance that the stage was from the park in the 2K20 neighborhood. But also, I remember, I don't even know if this got patched or if this even is considered a glitch or they just like didn't care. Sometimes when I went to go switch parks, like in the limited time I had in that game, if you went too far, you weren't able to like switch. Like you could run like 5 feet more or like 5 or 10 feet more than the game would allow you. So it's almost like you no-clipped out of bounds and then you got to run back, but it's not like you did anything. You just ran farther.
Yeah, it's just the stuff that 2K just fails to do, and why like those types of things weren't in the past 2Ks, and it was just like that's what made it better.
That's also why they. That's probably also why they decided to make that a bigger park, so there's less switching. Also, I wonder if that had to do something, because maybe some parks got really overloaded in some parks. And they're always, I remember, because they do a really weird thing with the park where they don't have really a set amount of parks. Where the parks basically, once the people, like, there's enough people left, they kind of, like, shut them down and open up a new one. Which is, I don't know why they do that. Maybe that's something to do with the servers again, and I don't really get why they did that, and maybe that's why they made the park so huge, so you really don't have to be switching that much. You just got to run all the way to the other city and find another game.
Yeah. It just, I don't understand the logic that they have. And also, I don't understand the logic with their VC pricing. Like, back in the other old 2Ks, like, literally shirts costed 500 VC, and now we have to buy things that are 20,000 VC, along with our players, along with our game. It's just disgusting how much they make us pay for virtual clothing. It's ridiculous.
That, and I think the closest thing we've got to it is probably the like plain colored shirts or something like that. Just like normal colored shirts. I think those were maybe like 250 VC. But if you wanted something that didn't look like nothing,
like crap,
which is basically what it was, you're basically paying 250 VC to look like you just changed your color shirt, which is really what you just did. Was the New Balance ones. And I don't know why those were so cheap, but I'm pretty sure every single thing, sweatshirts, pants, I don't know about shoes, sweatshirts, pants, socks, whatever, those were all 800 VC, which is still more than 500 VC, but it was 800 VC for every piece of clothing in a New Balance thing. And it's not even like they looked bad. I don't know what made like those ones more valuable than like the I wouldn't say Nike, but like let's say like the Under Armour ones maybe or something like that. I don't know why like they only did that for one thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a W. I didn't really pick up on that, but yeah, I mean it's a good thing at least we had one clothing brand that was at least somewhat cheap.
Yeah, and I'm okay with them having the $20,000 VC, the 20,000 VC clothing. You know, some of it obviously had more detail put in it than the other ones. I'm fine with that. But they really didn't do a great job of giving us suitable clothing options. This really even shouldn't be an argument that we should be having about the game. Because it should be something that's like just like cut and dry, like get them just like basic stuff. Give them like 2K stuff that they could wear, as long as it doesn't look like garbage. Because they might make 2K stuff, but 2K like basic stuff tends to look like shit.
Yeah, they make you wear a brown shirt, like it's a shit brown shirt. Like who? Like I don't understand that.
And have you seen the base 2K shoes that they load you in with? Those things are fucking raggedy as hell. Those things are garbage. And then the other thing is they have that option to buy shoes for the NBA or buy the shoes for the park.
Yeah.
Let me break this down for you. So, if you're buying something in the park, you're buying something that has a nice color because it wouldn't change because you're not on a certain team.
Yeah.
If you bought something for the park, you can wear it So here's the thing: if you buy it for the NBA, you could only wear it for the NBA, and it switches to the colors of the team that you're on. But the thing with the park shoes is, I guess the downside is that they look different than your team's colors.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it
don't
doesn't
get
even
why
matter in the
they
real
do
NBA.
that. Yeah, that's the thing too. Especially now, there's so many different shoes. I feel like people never really match their shoes with the jerseys, really, in basketball.
No. Yeah, no.
And
It's no
then
point.
and then for some shoes they just do the color thing. So you could buy a pair of shoes that you like for the color of park, and then they would literally do the same thing that if you were to buy them for the NBA once you play my career. So I don't get the point of having the NBA shoes, unless it's just like, like a sneaky little scam for special needs children to buy to buy the NBA things and then think that they also have to buy the same shoe for park because for some reason they don't carry over.
No, I'd say 90% of everything with VC is a sneaky scam, to be honest with you.
And
It's like just horrible.
that, and I believe from, I don't know if it was from 19 to 20 to 21 or if it was from 19 to 20 that they increased the price of physical US dollars that it took to buy enough VC to get your player to an 85 overall. Not even to get him up to a 99 overall, but to get him
Yeah,
up to an 85.
It's
So
literally
didn't they change that from 25
horrible.
to like 40 or something like that, or like 30 to 50, something
I
like that?
can't clearly remember, but I remember they did boost up the prices of VC and they made it more significant, and they practically forced you to buy it. It's so ridiculous. Like,
And I feel like in Next Gen 2, I mean, people like the. I think that's the only positive thing people have about Next Gen is that they have different pie charts, but they start you at a 40 overall. So if it wasn't forced before for you to buy VC to even have a chance in playing in the park within the first 2 months of the game, being
yeah,
a 40 overall negates any chance of that within like the first 3 months.
yeah, physically impossible to play with a 40 overall player. It's actually sickening in how they force you to spend an extra $50. And one thing I would just like to say quickly, I hate the game now, Fortnite though, is that you spent money to make yourself look different. You never spent money to give yourself an advantage in the game. And look at how big Fortnite got as a game. I know all the kids in the community now are just weirdos. I haven't played that game for probably like 3 years, but it's just the point that they made it so that it's a completely skill-based game and you just spent money on how you looked.
And it's weird because I feel like obviously some games have been successful where there's kind of pay to win, but also I feel like the most successful games that you could think of franchise-wise rarely have a pay-to-win aspect of it. So Call of
No.
Duty has been in really long-running franchise, and of course I think there was a couple games in there, like I know Infinite Warfare. I'm pretty sure all the games that Sledgehammer makes. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I know like maybe Black Ops 4. I think had it, and Infinite Warfare or Advanced Warfare. One of them had like crates, but again, Advanced and Infinite Warfare, those are some of like, and Black Ops 4 are one of the like most hated Call of Duties out of like the entire group of them.
Yeah.
And then if you look at, and then there's like whatever, like there's Fortnite, and then there's. But then if you look at the other ones, especially like the EA ones, who's probably an equally money-hungry company as 2K.
Yeah.
A lot of people play FIFA, obviously, because soccer is an international sport. Really famous one, obviously.
Yeah.
Then there's Madden.
Damn foot fairies.
Madden, and we're not even going to talk about NBA Live, because that is just... I think NBA Live is dead. I think it's gone for good. I think I mean I know
You
they're
really
saying
think
they're
so?
making another one. Have you played them?
Well, hold up.
Have you played NBA Live?
Hold up. Yeah, hold on. Wait. So yes, I have. But my argument for NBA Live to potentially make a comeback is that when NBA Live 16 was dropped and they made a big deal, they invited big YouTubers like Chris Move, all of 2Hype, a bunch of 2K YouTubers to this event, right? And 2K had competition. I remember when both games dropped, the main difference was that it was, well, 2K's movement system and the dribbling is better, where NBA Live is completely stiff. But now we've came over the years, and NBA Live, I think, has been watching from a distance 2K slowly nerf movement, and now it's to the point in 2K21 Next Gen to where the movement is god awful. And it's basically the equivalent to NBA Live, in my opinion.
It's almost like the park thing, where the park thing isn't a deal breaker. It just kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But have you played NBA Live recently?
No, I haven't.
I'm not talking about gameplay. I'm talking about content. There is, first of all, nothing to do with the game. Second of all, there's nothing to do in the game. And third of all, I don't know. Because, especially with how bad Madden 21 did this year, I feel like it would be kind of a big leap. EA is weirdly enough, if you're thinking about it, kind of not dying off, but like Battlefield 5 sucked asshole. That game was bad.
No,
Madden
definitely.
21 isn't good. FIFA has been apparently copied and pasted since 2013.
And so many people buy it still. It's insane.
NBA Live is deader than my grandma. It's like, it's weird because it's almost like they're dying off, and I don't feel like they have not the budget, but really the room to revive a franchise that never really even earned them money, especially recently. Because that's another thing, you have to look at it from like a money
financial
standpoint.
yeah.
If EA hasn't made money off of something for multiple years, multiple games that they've made where they haven't made money, they're probably gonna drop it. That's why I don't think they're gonna make another Battlefield game. Because believe it or not, Battlefield 4 is not only making a lot of money, but Battlefield 1 was insanely successful, which is why they made that's why they made Battlefield 5. But then Battlefield 5 was really bad, and they're probably just gonna wait it out, see how everything goes with Battlefield 4. So I don't even know if NBA Live is gonna be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I hope they come back and make a better game than 2K, because that would just be so funny to see how quickly 2K listens to the community. Because right now they just don't care because they don't have a competition. So
the best thing that could happen to the 2K community is basically if 2K, it would actually be like almost it would be a best worst case scenario, because they would be making 2K NFL, which is weird because back in the day it was almost switched, where 2K had the better football game, and everyone was playing NBA Live, like say it was like 2006.
Yep.
Because that was like the biggest year, and then EA bought the rights to making an NFL game.
Yep.
So it's weird because they kind of took the two things that they weren't good at, and
they expanded upon it.
And that's what they decided to expand on it. Yeah. So the best thing that could probably happen to 2K and the 2K community is if they end up actually making that NFL 2K21, or it would be NFL 2K22 now.
Well, then when
because
you think
because if they actually make that a good game, then EA, there's going to be competition because everyone remembers the 2K football games as being good, so people might switch over to that. So they have to basically either improve Madden or they make NBA Live better.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Two equals.
So let me ask you this then. So then what you just said about back in like the early 2000s and how 2K was primarily football and EA was basketball. Now 2K is trying to expand into the football fan base, and they're letting their basketball game die. And it's completely vice versa. with NBA Live, wouldn't you think that they try to drop a better product than 2K?
I feel like they almost, because EA, as like dumb as a lot of the stuff that they do, and they put out some pretty bad games sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, they are very smart. They might wait to develop a new NBA Live for probably to wait until 2K releases their football game and see how good it does. If it ends up being a flop, they'll wait another year to see if they make a good one next year, or 2K might not even make another one next year because they didn't do good that year.
Mm.
So that's also where the other dilemma comes in, where 2K tends to shut their servers off after, I think, 2 games after. I think it usually is, right? Because once
Something
21
like that,
current
I think.
gen shut off, 19 shut off.
Mhm.
So basically, what's happening is if they don't make a good, it's like a kind of an ultimatum, because if they don't make that good of a football game, then they'll get away with making a crappy NBA 2K22. So one of the 2 games has to be good. If 2K ends up making a football game for the 2022 whatever, like NBA 2022 or NFL 22, they have to make one of them good. Either forced EA to make either a better football game to rival theirs, or make NBA Live good to force them to make 2K good, or they have 2K22 be good. Because if not, we don't have a game to really go back and play. But like you said before with 21, is that even though objectively it isn't a good game, and people have said that, people are willing to go back and play that rather than playing the next gen game, purely because it's better than that's how bad that one is, that they'll go back to that one.
I think what you're trying to say is more playable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
just
more
playable.
yeah. It's not like it's a great game. It's objectively not that good and kind of lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely more creative and more playable and less lazy than the next gen game. That's also because people are also going back to 2K20 too. A lot of people are going back to 2K20. But if 2K22 is bad, do people fall back onto NBA 2K21 current gen for a second year and wait for 2K23? Because that's the thing. A game, especially with 2K games, they could be like the best 2K game, and and they really don't have playability for 2 years straight. You can't play the same game. You can't play like the same 2K game. I feel like you can't even play the same game, period. Like without even taking a break. You can't play like the same, especially with how not. That's also another thing. You could play a good game, like you could play like GTA or Minecraft or something like that. An older 2K, you could play that for maybe 2 years, but 2K21 isn't a good game that you probably right now would be willing to play another year if 2K22 isn't that good.
That's a good point.
So it's like they either force themselves to make a good game, and I feel like if they don't make that good of a game, I know I've been saying like, well, what are people going to fall back on? People are probably just going to stop playing the game, period.
Yeah, and that's really gonna, like, I feel like 2K has their backs to the wall. Like, almost like 2K18. Like, it's just like here, let me explain this real quick. So, 2K17, all the year games before 2K18 were good basketball games. And then 2K18 came out, and that was the worst 2K that they have dropped in such a high up community. So obviously, they're going to rank that low. But now, since they have been slowly, progressively lowering our standards with every single game, and now it's gone to the point to where YouTubers' jobs are suffering because the game is so bad. Now I feel like this year, if, like you said, if they don't drop a good game in 2K22, they're really going to have problems. They're going to go underboard. They're going to lose a lot of money. And I think, to be honest, it'll just be too late for them. They won't be able to come back 2K23. It'll just be over for them.
Yeah, that's another thing too that I didn't even think about is that the YouTube community is and like the Twitch community, which is kind of the same thing. It's basically
Yeah,
YouTubers just
yeah.
streaming.
Hmm.
That community is going to be affected so much because people. That's another thing. People might be willing to play 2K21 again for a second year. God forbid the next year's game isn't good. But I like people are like struggling to find content into like the seventh month of like the normal 2K game. Like people are struggling to get content during that time. So how it would be, I think, besides like Ticino actually has a pretty good system working for him with like the wagers that you could just do it and it'll be different
Yeah.
almost every time. But
Hmm.
like other people, like they're like running out of time because if they have to end up replaying 2K21 or forced to play 2K22 when it's a dog shit game, they might have to just quit either doing 2K content or just doing YouTube at all because the content is just like non-existent.
And it sucks because these people sacrificed a lot. They dropped out of college to pursue this dream that they had, all for it to be taken away by the same company that they wanted to pursue.
Yeah. And
It's
I
just
don't know.
horrible.
I know. When Nick was showing me that thing that he was showing me of it was Derek, right? The
I don't know.
video
Tell
said
me what
J
it
Fox
is.
is musty,
Oh, yeah.
and no, he was playing Madden, and I feel like people like him and like G Man and people like that,
Yeah, that
maybe
friend
like
group, yeah.
Steezo. But I feel like Steezo has a nice little community where he will play the game regardless and still dribble and he'll still keep a community. But someone like G Man, obviously he's really good at the game, but I feel like his thing has more been moved into like comedy and
Yeah.
stuff. So he'll be able to like just do that on a different game.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I would just like to say real quick is that people like Steezo, like a lot of people hate to admit this, but he is one of the most, if not the most, influential YouTubers in the 2K community. Like I see on I don't know if you see on Twitter, but everybody follows this guy and he follows them back and he builds this ISO community. And it's so strong to where like he like also like G-Man with his community. Did you G-Man hasn't uploaded in like 3 months consistently in like 3 months, and his older videos are all getting to 1 million views because people are just rewatching them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just crazy how
That's an
influential these YouTubers can be.
I'm gonna find. I think it would be harder, honestly. When it comes to like DF members, the only one I would even consider going out of my way to watch is probably Grinding.
Yeah, besides that though, I hate them all. They're
Besides
just
that, I think he probably has the best possibility, if not the only possibility, to make content outside of 2K.
mm-hmm.
I
Definitely.
feel like all the other DF members and all those other, a lot of the people that are like those type of people, like Cheeseaholic or whatever the fuck his name is. Those people are not. Those people are not gonna find a good community outside of 2K.
And Mike, I
Period.
want you to realize something quickly. And actually, we're gonna skip. We'll cover how to can 2K revive their game last. I just want you to realize though, all these YouTubers who are big but don't have influential communities, aren't all those YouTubers like popping on TikTok?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that TikTok, like involving your channel and your content through TikTok, is not the way because it doesn't build a community. It just has people laugh. It's a trend. It's not a community. It's a trend that people are gonna hop on for a little while.
What the hell is that name of that guy? With Mystic
What guy?
Mario?
Oh, Mario's mindset. Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
kid.
his name. He didn't even talk during his videos, didn't he? He
Yeah,
played with
no,
like
and he
Clay
was
and
just
shit, and he just never
extremely
talked.
yeah, and he has 100 something K subs right now, and he was popping on 20, but now the dude's a literal nobody. It's just crazy how TikTok can
Really?
just chew you up and spit
He's
you
just
out.
like
Yeah,
he's just
he's a
gone?
nobody. He's still uploading videos, but he's pulling like 3K views. He's completely fell off.
Hold on, let me look this up real quick.
Completely fell off.
Cause he was like huge. He was like we were talking before, like all the outfits everyone was wearing, all the TikTok outfits. That was
Yup.
like always from him.
Yeah. It just goes to show that TikTok doesn't build a strong community. It's just a trend. It just puts you on a spotlight for a short amount of time. You can't build something off of it. That's why these YouTubers, the real ones at least in my eyes, Steezo, G-Man, you have Joe Knows, Cole, I'm definitely forgetting a lot of people, but those people have such strong communities because it's just they keep it real with you. They're just real people and they're not fake like the people on TikTok, like annoying TV. Like it's sad, but it's right at the same time in my eyes. I don't
So
know.
I'm looking at it right here. He's pulling like 29. He's pulling like 30K views, basically.
Yeah.
30 to 50K views consistently within the last like 2 to 3 months. Also,
Yeah.
another thing I see he's doing too is he's actually I mean obviously I wouldn't expect you to be doing the kind of in-depth research I'm doing, like looking up his name. But I know a huge thing about Steezos is the whatever, like the anime stuff. Like that and Swante and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot
And
about
basically-
Swante. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Basically
Swante.
for the past month, almost literally for the past month, he's just been integrating everything, like even like thumbnail to anime and everything.
Yeah.
Naruto specifically.
Yeah.
And unfortunately to you, it's actually Kakashi. So sucks to suck, I guess. You're just a little TikTok nerd bitch.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, bro, my favorite character is Kakashi. Damn, bro. God. I have to.
It's kind of a big L.
Hey, bro,
Yeah.
I have to overcome J Fox Entertainment, and then I'm gonna overcome Mario's mindset with Kakashi. That's what's gonna happen.
You're not overcoming Mario's mindset. I'm breaking it to you right now. He's too good.
At TikTok spotlight, bro. It's just crazy.
J Fox Entertainment only has like 50,000 subscribers. Okay, Jesus.
I think he
Bro,
hasn't uploaded though.
his channel trailer is 2K19 first 97 overall. Is he still like doing like going off of that?
I don't think he does YouTube anymore. And if he does, I like the last video I saw, he only got like 300 views.
So his like top most popular videos is, I mean, I don't blame him for just like I wouldn't say leeching, but like whatever. He's still living off that high that he got from being that first 99 overall in 2K19.
You have to have like 3 people on his account.
And so yeah, he's been like making music now, and he just recently started doing 2K21 stuff actually.
Damn.
Except
I got
he's
some
getting
competition.
65 views and 160 views.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, nah, he's done with YouTube. I don't think he has. That's definitely not his primary job anymore, at least.
He's
Just-
like
just
rarely
shows off.
pulling like 1K views. He has 49.4 thousand subscribers.
Yeah, so it just goes to show. Like,
And I think a lot of the 1.1K views are from streams because those are a lot easier to get high view counts on compared to a video. Because if you actually look at his videos are like 100 views or 130 views. I think you're pulling more views than him.
Not quite.
Oh shit! You lost a subscriber.
Oh no. Nah, once I get my
oh,
PS5,
Damn, you fell off your trash. Fuck off.
once I get my PS5, which we're not gonna talk about what's happening with it right now. That'll be a story for another day.
I did get a PS5 though. I got a brand new one.
That'll be a story for another day. Hopefully once I get it, everyone who's watching this, send out prayers to the PS5 gods that I get my PS5 and it's not quote unquote stolen.
Hey, you still have 6 days till it's supposed to actually come in. Allegedly.
I guess. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it another time because it was a really stressful day for me today. But no, we've talked about how great 2K was in the past, and we talk about how TikTok, shines a temporary spotlight on you and then completely just abandon it, just spits you out.
Shit.
So now, I feel like we should talk about how 2K can revive their game and fix it. And just coming from the dribble head himself, Jay Fox, no more 2K. We need dribble moves to be entertaining and involve a skill gap in this game. Otherwise, it's not gonna be fun. Like every single 2K that had good dribbling was ranked a top 2K. Like it's just a proven
I have
fact.
to disagree with you. I like screens. I love screens. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm like, get the fuck off my podcast. This dude just straight up left.
I was trying to stop the video and I just fucking closed out the whole thing.
For people who didn't know, this dude just accidentally left a Discord call after saying
you
likes
did
screens.
tell me to leave. I didn't know my opinion was illegal here.
Nah, he's just playing. But nah, every single 2K that everyone holds so precious has good dribbling, and it sucks because like half of the community, barely half anymore, even want to like admit that. So it's kind of sad.
I forgot
Mike, you want to talk about
what?
Bruh, Swante's the homie. Mike, you want to talk about the shooting skill gap? What do you think about it?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean,
We just gotta have a high shooting percentage. I'm not a shooting percentage, shooting attribute. Are you saying this because I suck at shooting in 2K21?
I was thinking that in my head. I was like, yo, this kid struggled. This kid was struggling.
You weren't doing too much. You weren't doing better either. First of all, when you're playing your friends, I'll put the fuck it. I'll put that clip. I'll put that clip in the chat. We all know what happened when you played your friends, and I decided to do a double spin fadeaway.
Mike, I think the gods blessed you so hard on that.
There ain't no god. I'm the god. You literally cannot touch me. I'm unbeatable in this game.
I'm gonna play that clip during the podcast on the YouTube video. But I mean, it went from in 2K20 and kinda 19 how you can go on any build and you could shoot consistently, and it went to 2K21 where shooting was extremely more challenging at first, and you needed an 88.3 to be able to shoot, and then now we're back in 2K21 next gen, where I haven't played it yet, obviously, but they're saying it's back to being extremely easy. But I mean, also with the lag spikes and stuff, like I bet that plays a big role because the game for the first 3 weeks is basically unplayable because you would chop every like 2 seconds.
Defense was shit.
Yeah, he had defensive sliding, which still exists, even though they said they fixed it.
That's also another thing that they can't do is I feel like they might try to do like a. I mean, I guess you could say. I mean, I guess really not because there's stretches and post scores, but I feel like they're either they're gonna do completely polar opposites, where they're basically gonna make an offensive game, where like basically you don't even need defensive badges, just who's the better scorer. Or they might make it a huge defensive game, which who's the. That's the thing. It's not gonna be good, but they're probably gonna end up doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean the offensive scoring type of game that you're saying could be fun if offense was fun to play in general. Like it's not even fun. Like the dribble.
But also that's another thing is that's also another problem. If someone isn't good at the offense in the game, then playing defense isn't gonna be that fun when they disregarded defense for the entire game.
Yeah, I think just finding a balanced game is the solution, to be honest with you. Just balancing everything out and basing it off of skill.
As dumb as it sounds, I really think that's almost an impossible task for them.
I could totally agree with you. It's literally they've struggled to do it. Like they couldn't even do that in 2K19.
And I feel like even if even if 2K continues to make games for the next 20 years, 2K22 ends up being a pretty decent game. All sins are forgiven, whatever. We'll continue playing.
Hopefully that's the case.
2K18 not only be considered the worst 2K ever created on planet Earth, but it will be kind of the barrier, kind of like the AC, the ADBC kind of thing. It would be like before 2K18. That's when the games didn't suck ass.
Oh, yeah.
After 2K18, games kind of pretty much stinky.
Besides 19, basically. But I mean,
yeah.
You compare 19, like,
they'll have their flukes.
Now,
they'll accidentally make a good game once in a while.
Nah, but you look at 19, and, like, people are saying that was such a good game. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, the dribbling was good, but, like, you had pure lockdowns who just... It was only a matter of time before they pressed square or X, and they got the steal on you. You had stretch bigs who it didn't even matter with shot contest. And then you had post scorers who were OP. Like, people tend to forget that type of stuff. And it kind of, like, I don't know, it just makes I think people just forget about the bad that happens in the previous games before.
Yeah. And also, they, basically, they kind of were like the, like, if you're, like, begging your parents for something, like, saying, like, oh, I really want, like, say you, like, I don't know, say you want, like, donut pudding, New Year's Eve. Ma, donut pudding. Ma, donut pudding. And then she fucking takes it and beats you over the head with the donut pudding pan. That's basically what 2K did with interior defense. For so many years,
like that analogy.
Like, we need better interior defense. And they're like, oh, you want better interior defense? We're not going to give it to you. Hey, we need better interior defense for 2K21. It still sucks ass. And they're like, oh, you want better interior defense? They beat you over the head. They're like, here, now you can't score.
Post hooks from the 3-point line.
Yeah. Now you could do interior stuff from the 3-point line, but if you want to be a center and you want to try to take a layup, see you next year, big guy. You ain't making shit.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, that's basically how interior defense works in 2K21.
Yeah. Speaking of post hooks, too, 2K needs to make it harder to abuse the game. Like, just with metas and stuff.
That's probably the biggest mistake in video game history. Just period. Post hooks existing.
Post hooks? Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's just crazy. It's just... I don't think... Tysino... I think he wagered that post-hooking kid in Next Gen.
Did he still lose?
Yeah, the post-hooking kid lost, but... I mean, I think it was... I didn't watch it, but I heard it was still a close game. So I don't know if the kid was, like, post-hooking or just running... I don't know what OP lineup he was running. But, no, I mean, it's just crazy how people could hop on the game with no dignity and play like that and call themselves good. And, like, people are gonna say, like, hey, yo, bro, just chill. It's just a video game. Dude, at the end of the day, it's not a video game because if it were just a video game, you wouldn't be playing like that. Like, you would be making your IRL build and going to the park with another point guard who made his IRL build, and you'd just be playing basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's just like... That's not the case, and people just don't understand that. And like we said about TikTok, like they just make that shit, like exploiting the game, so popular on TikTok to where it's basically the majority of the community now who, they just think that running exploits and running these OP ass lineups and game plans, they think it's just like the norm, and it's actually like disgusting. And that's one reason why 2K has fell off, and it's something that those kids and those YouTubers who play like that annoying TV, they say the game's bad, but they don't realize that they're the ones actually ruining it. Like, Do you have anything to say
Yeah.
about that?
Not really. I mean, it's just like you kind of covered it all.
Mm. Um. Well then, I mean, we could say another thing is that they need to invest in better servers.
Yeah.
Um.
Servers are stinky. Stinky ass. I already talked about whatever. Modern Warfare, all those other games, they have continents, but they also have more servers per continent than
Mhm.
2K does. They have one server for an entire region. They have what? A server for Oceania, a server for Asia, one server for Europe,
Europe.
one server for the east of America, one server for the west of America. Actually, it's not even the east and west of America. It's east and west of the entire Western Hemisphere. So they
Mm.
kind of just like, hey, fuck it, hemisphere. So that's basically how they did their servers, and they suck. I don't know where the servers are too. Or where do you know
Um.
where? I mean, obviously they're located east and west, but I don't know.
Yeah. The East server. I know Agent did a video in 2K18. It was a good video. He rented a house in Virginia where the server was. He rented a house right basically next to the 2K server, and then played online. And he said it was like playing My Career.
It was just seamless.
It was just seamless. Yeah,
Oh
because
my
he
god, I
he
might
rented a house
actually have to
right
go
next
buy
to
a
it.
house in Virginia. Fuck around Virginia house.
So that's just crazy to me. Um, and then
Well,
we also
also
talked
no one
about
was
this.
playing 2K18. It's another thing.
Yeah,
I could
that is
probably be in
facts.
space and play my career levels latency in fucking 2K18.
No, that is facts. Um, but no, another thing we talked about yesterday too was about the city in next gen and how a big city like that only has 200 people in it, and the server was still bugging so badly to where the chops and the lag, like YouTubers were recording videos that had lag chops in them. Like I've never seen that before. That's how bad it was.
I've seen that. The only time I see that is usually only when they're like taking stuff from like streams. And like the
Mm.
stream VOD was a little weird or they lagged like once. I usually just only see them not even like chop. I usually just see them like get time not timed out, but like start getting counted or it's a lag from the Twitch VOD. I've never seen
Yeah.
it. I've never seen it like chop or like them actually like lag all the way to where they're running out of bounds.
No, if you look up on YouTube, I think just like 2K21 Next Gen like chopping, dude, I guarantee you can find videos of YouTubers just playing the game for the first time, experiencing this. And it's sad because they make you pay $70 on the game along with $50, along with other money to buy clothes. And then you also have to grind your player to 99 and also spend more VC to get your player from 85 to 99,
Damn. And
which
I'm
is more
actually looking
money.
up right now. The entire 2K YouTube community is so whack. I look it up 2K21 Next Gen, and it's always 2K20 Next Gen best trailer, drippy face scan. It just says face creation, but we all know what that actually is.
Oh yeah, we know what that
Badge
means.
glitch, best dribble moves, glitchy dribble moves, my career glitch, legend glitch. It's like, this is so dumb.
Yeah, and it's not content. Like I don't consider an animations video, a rep video, a glitch video. That's not content because it's not something. Like, do you know what I'm saying with this? Like a YouTuber's not going there and talking about gameplay and like cracking jokes or something. He's just posting his animations on the screen. So when you see no like actual content in the recommended, it just goes to show that like how dry content is in that game.
Whoa. So this is actually what I'm watching right now. I looked up what you told me. I actually just looked up next gen gameplay
Mm-hmm.
regardless, and it looks so weird. First of all, is that like water? I can't tell if that's water or a wall. 'Cause I don't know how the city looks. The
Um,
scoreboard looks really the scoreboard, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you've seen the Troydan videos from like 4 years ago, where he was like trying to get 2K18 early, or like I got 2K18 early, and he played on the Roblox game. And but that's what the scoreboard looks like. And this is just normal gameplay that I looked up, and there's just like lagging in it, like all the time, just like weird chops in the
exactly.
gameplay.
Yeah. it's just sad how much money
Also, I
they
don't
make
see
you pay.
anyone doing anything that's not jab stepping to a 3-pointer from the inbound or rim running. I'm watching One's gameplay. Is there like Park Ones now?
Um, yeah, there's like a few 1v1 courts like scattered along the park. I think it's like there's like two or three actually. Um, but they don't count towards your record. They're just games.
Ones looks so weird. I'm just like looking at it. First of all, I mean it's hard to tell because the lag is pretty bad, but it's basically just people slashing and taking standing threes like from the inbound if they don't play up on them, and then taking close fades.
No, I'd say about 80% of the time.
I'm sorry. I just saw
No,
the
so-
U1 animation.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking basketball. Let me watch that again. Oh my god. And then the royalty free Adobe Premiere base pack fire animation U1. That is so this is what they did with next gen capabilities. What the fuck
Yeah.
is this? It
This
just
is what they've
looks
been hyping for the
bad.
past 1.5 years. Oh, don't worry. This game's bad because we're working on this game. Don't worry.
This just looks
It's crazy.
not good. This is not
Um,
great.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, I was actually gonna ask the question because I was wondering about it a couple of days ago. What was the name of the username that we came up for for your dad playing on a train? I was thinking about it a couple of days. VComp Snipes. I was thinking like XX Strippy Snipes or something like that. It was VComp Snipes.
No, Mike,
You know that
TikTok
username.
account that
You know
you're
that
talking
username's
about.
taken.
Is it actually? That's so. That's so
I
sad.
tried doing that. I tried like making that. You know how I have all Nick's old usernames and stuff. I tried doing that. I tried to get owning VComp Snipes, and I just couldn't do it because it already
That's
existed.
horrible. That is
It's not
horrible.
great at all.
That's
pretty
just
bad.
disgusting.
It's really bad.
Mike, if we are playing 2K21 Next Gen and we see a kid named VComp Snipes, I'm gonna pull out my crowbar in the virtual game and bash him along the head, and we're gonna rob his username from him.
Just take it.
We're just gonna rob him. Because that type of username should not be allowed on this earth. Plain and simple.
Yeah, basically. That's
We
about
talked
it.
about a lot though. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to point out?
Not really. I mean, I feel like oh, if everyone didn't know, this is our second time recording this because someone's mic audio sounds like dookie shit butter. But more specifically, it's like if you had a decent mic, you recorded the audio, and then you took your mic and put it next to your ass and shit yourself, then bit compressed it and put it over the audio, and that's what his audio sounded like.
Yeah, that was not a good look.
I'm not going to tell you whose audio it
I don't
was,
know.
but it was someone's.
Definitely not J Fox 2K's.
Yeah. Definitely not.
Nah, Mike, I'll be 100% honest. I think we did a good podcast. I think this is going to
I
come
think we
out
did a
much
better time this one than the other one.
Yeah, I could totally agree with that. I'm gonna wrap it up though in this outro right now. No, thank you guys if you've completely listened through. Thank you for that. Please sub to my YouTube channel, J Fox. You won't only be getting podcast content, even though that's gonna be the norm for a little while until I settle in and find a game to play. But yeah, no, sub to J Fox. Don't forget to sub to Mike. Mike's OnlyFans. Mike, your OnlyFans.
Yep. And my YouTube channel,
Swizzy Games. Link in the description.
Link
Don't
in the
forget
description.
it.
I don't have to spell it out for you.
If you're listening on an outside app, maybe Spotify, Apple Music, leave this a like. Podcasts are gonna come out often because obviously we just talked about how 2K has been suffering. So obviously we don't really want to play that right now.
Nothing to do.
Exactly, but these podcasts are a good way to talk about what we're thinking. Just sit down for an hour and a half, an hour, and just chill out and vibe. So, we thank you for watching this podcast, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't forget the price for Mike's OnlyFans is $100,000 a month. So monthly payments are required. Idiots see that
Required
dumb
to
stuff.
listen to the podcast.